Thanks for logging on to myfoxhurricane.com. So we've got this interesting pattern that we've been talking about this for several days with that leftover moisture from Invest 93 just making this big circle. It's now working its way out back over the water, and it's going to be pushing right back over the state as we go through the next couple of days. So that's really going to help to enhance those showers and thunderstorms that we see over the state. Then as we head towards the end of the week, heading into the weekend, it's almost like deja vu. Here it is working its way over towards Louisiana, and yet again another ridge working its way in. Some of that drier air drying out and dropping those rain chances as we head into the weekend. So a very, very low chance of anything developing with that, but it's something we'll kind of keep an eye on as we go through the next several days. Now, one other area that we're watching, this has now been classified as Invest 94. Hurricane Center putting a 20% chance of development on this. And this is just an area of low pressure producing some disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Conditions are just marginally favorable right now. You do see that drier air sitting to the north of this, but it's found that little area that it's been able to actually do all right in. And for the time being, it's going to stay in an area where it could see some limited development as we go through the next several days. So it has that little narrow window as it's working its way towards the Caribbean, but it will have to eventually deal with more of that dry air. And then as it works its way into the Caribbean, that's also where we're going to start to see that wind shear starting to increase. You can see the various computer models have that really good idea that this is just going to continue on that westerly track. And when you look at this, you're saying, oh boy, here we go. We've got this storm working its way into the Caribbean, something we really have to watch. Well, this is just showing you the track where that low or potential low could go, but it doesn't tell you much about the intensity. What it's going to start to do is work its way into some of that stronger wind shear. So watch this as we head into the middle of the week. There it is working its way into the Caribbean, but notice when it arrives in the Caribbean, it still has that fairly strong wind to deal with in the atmosphere. And remember, tropical systems, they don't like to see those strong winds or that wind shear in the atmosphere disrupts their circulation, especially with a system that is just trying to form. So this is going to really limit this system's ability, that along with some of that dry air, for this system to really get well established. So as you look at this on the Fox model, and Fox model's been doing a great job on this. I was showing this last week where we were starting to get that hint or that idea that we would maybe have to be watching further out into the Atlantic for some of these tropical waves that might try and produce a little bit more organization. And here we are watching that pushing on towards the west, pushing into the Caribbean. But you notice as it works its way through, very limited. And then you notice towards the end of this, it really starting to wash it out. So it's that wind shear and the dry air that's going to really inhibit this system, it looks like, from developing. Of course, we're going to watch it because if we can find that little spot that it can maybe get away from some of this, it may have a little bit better of an opportunity. But for now, it looks like this is going to be a real long shot. Of course, we'll keep you updated right here on myfoxhurricane.com.